I'm Mason Mount. You're listening to the London is Blue podcast.
Switching gears to left back, because that's the kind of next big one on your list. Does Chelsea think that Leicester falling into the kind of Europa League area, that there's some workaround room with Chilwell on price, or is that still going to be kind of the big inflection point that they have to overcome if they want to sign him?
Yeah, look, Leicester are difficult, really difficult to negotiate with. They've proved that over recent years. And they don't need the money. You know, they're a wealthy club. They don't need the money. So the Chilwell, I think, will come down to Chilwell. If he's prepared to really push for a move and tell them he wants to leave, and potentially even tell them he doesn't want to play for the club anymore, let alone just leave, then there might be a way of negotiating that. If Chilwell doesn't want to do any of that, even if he does want to join Chelsea, but he doesn't want to upset Leicester and burn his bridges at Leicester, then I think it becomes much more difficult. The Champions League will certainly have an impact, I'd imagine, on Chilwell himself. I think it would be much easier to convince Chilwell to give Leicester one more year if they were going to be playing in the Champions League. Trying to do that with no Champions League, I think, is a lot more difficult. Not impossible. But I've always thought with Chilwell that this is a deal that comes down to him. If he's willing to push it, then it can probably get done, and the fee can probably get negotiated down. If he's not willing to push it, then I don't really see why Leicester would budge.
Who is the next? So let's pretend he doesn't force a way out. Who are the next, one or two targets that are kind of on your big board?
Well, look, I mean, Chilwell is definitely Lampard number one. Now, if Lampard has to wait for Chilwell, he might be prepared to do so. A bit like Klopp waited for Van Dijk. Lampard likes the Liverpool model. He likes what Klopp's done. I know he had that row with Klopp on the touchline, but he talks a lot in private about what Liverpool done and talks a lot about their patience. And we saw that in January a little bit. They could have signed players, but they chose not. They didn't get some players they wanted, and they chose not to sign other players because they felt they would rather wait and go for more long-term targets. Now, if Lampard gets the feeling that he can't get Chilwell now, but he might be able to in January or definitely can next summer, then I wouldn't necessarily ruling out the fact that Lampard will say, do you know what? Chilwell's the one I want. And if we have to wait 6 months or a year, let's wait 6 months or a year, and we'll go with what we've got and get Chilwell. So that could happen. If it's not Chilwell and there's no sense that deal can be done anytime soon, so they feel they still have to get a left back, then look, this guy's name I struggle with saying every time, but Tagliafico, the Ajax player, clearly one they've looked at. He can go for around 20 odd million, so he's very attractive price-wise, should I say. The Real Madrid left back, who I've got to be honest, I didn't know anything about Chelsea's interest in him until it came up in the foreign press. I'm a little bit sceptical on it as to how strong the interest is. It feels like one that maybe is being driven by the player's side at the moment more than Chelsea's side, but I can only assume there must have been a bit of interest. But it's not one I've been over. I'll be honest, there are some transfers I know a lot about and others I don't. And if that one happens, it'll be one I didn't know an awful lot about. And then the other left back they like is Lucas Digne at Everton. Now, interestingly, Everton have also been linked with this Real Madrid left back. So whether there's something going on in that process of an agent actually using Chelsea in the market to try and get Everton to do it, and then it frees up maybe Digne to go to Chelsea. Who knows? These type of things happen all the time. But look, they're the names, and they've all been out there. I don't think there's a secret name as such. I don't think there's a lot going on in the background. But all I know is that Chilwell is very much Lampard's first choice. So if he feels there's an opportunity now or in the near future to get Chilwell, I think he'll want to do that rather than going for a second choice.